Namaste. Welcome to another edition of Navavimash podcast. So today again we are going to continue our reading session for the book that we are reading, RSS, the Roadmap for 21st Century. We had read the first chapter of the book, and today we are going to continue the reading session with the chapter 2. So I'll just wait for a minute to people to join, then I'll prep. So this is the chapter 2 of the book RSS Roadmap for 21st Century. So today we are going to read the chapter 2. Chapter 2 describes Dr. G. Dr. G, when we mean Dr. G means Dr. Baliram Hedgewar, the founder of RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So I'll just give audience a minute or two to just to join. Then we'll start reading the reading session. And in the meanwhile, I'll also share the details of the book, where to find the book and how you can purchase the book. And do also let me know if the audio is visible to everybody. You are able to hear me clearly. Just comment that you are able to hear the audio. We'll start reading the book. So let me just first share the book details and information. So this is the book we are reading, RSS Roadmap for 21st Century. The book is published by Garuda Publication. The book is written by Sunil Ambekar. Sunil Ambekar. He is a long-time pracharak and functionary, a high-level functionary of RSS. He wrote the book, and if you can see here, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh continues to make headlines. Despite several books tracing its journey, curiosity about the functioning of RSS has increased phenomenally as Swayamsevaks have risen to top position in government and the Sangh's core ideas of Hindu Rashtra and Ekatma have become the mainstream lexicon of our social and political space. So, what is RSS? Imagination for India. If India become a Hindu Rashtra, what will be the place of Muslims and other faiths in it? How big is RSS? How big is the RSS project of history writing? Will Hindutva override caste politics? And what is RSS view of social issues pertaining to the changing nature of family, the rights of people with different sexual orientations, and the third gender? These contentious, content, contentious questions are just a few of the myriad political and social issues that Sunil Ambekar, a high-ranking Pracharak, analyzes in his book, The RSS Roadmap for the 21st Century, displaying a deep understanding of facts, clarity of thought, and attention to detail. Ambekar presents a blend of past milestones, present achievements, and future ideas. Having worked at the heart of the Shakha system, he also highlights the internal workings of Sangh, the decision-making process, the effective coordination systems, and means of expansion. So this is the book we are reading today. You can buy the book from Garuda Prakashan as well as from other online or offline retailers. Now let's start reading the book. Let me go to the. So let's start our reading session. I'll pause my reading for a few minutes to check the comments, but do keep them coming. And do let me know if I have made it. Yeah, I think the text will be visible to everybody. Dr. G's vision, ideas that shaped the Shang. When Dr. G established the RSS, he was 36 years old. He had no aspirations for personal leadership because if he would have, then with the enormous hardship and privations he subjected himself to, he would have founded a political party, which was not his motivation. So understand the context that RSS was not founded on the basis of political ideology, but in the ideology of a Hindu Rashtra, as mentioned by the Sangha itself. Dr. G was chosen to become the leader because of his demonstrated ability. He was the first Sarsang Chalak and was conscious that he was creating a template of behavior and personality for the rest of them. So he always stayed in the background while the organization, the RSS, came in the foreground and center stage. He was forward looking and went beyond conventional thinking. He knew that many organizations disintegrate when their leaders were at the helm of their lives. So the Babugiri, interesting term he has coined. So the Babugiri culture was shunted, shunned. So what do you mean by Babugiri? We'll read about it later when he describes it. The RSS was intended to live through its Swayamsevaks. He placed his faith in the common people. From amongst them, he raised his Swayamsevaks, and through them, he carried out his struggle against the British colonial rule. Prior to India's independence, a sworn pledge of every Swayamsevak before the RSS saffron flag included the words freedom for the Hindu Rashtra. After India won its freedom, this was changed to comprehensive development of Hindu Rashtra. An immeasurable love and respect for India and her people was at the core of being. Dr. G was focused on organization of the Indian nation on the basis of its values, culture, and traditions. Thus, a, par- thus a preliminary Thus, a preliminary quality for anyone wishing to become a Swayamsevak is to bear, bear a feeling of brotherhood towards his or her fellow country people. This gives rise to the ethics of service called seva. This vision gave primacy to the work of the Sangh. To this day, Dr. G's life and vision deeply influence each and every Swayamsevak as much as it had influenced the second second Sarsang Chalak M.S. Golwalkar, fondly called Guruji. Invaluable contribution. Whenever Dr. G visited other parts of the country, meeting up with the notables of those regions was an important part of his itinerary. Only meeting kindred people or those associated with Sangh activities was not a part of his mentality. A worthy Hindu belonging to any party or ideology was a person of interest for him. He reached out to such people to explain Sangh's activities and also attract them to the Sangh fold. Therefore, he met even those who were opposed to him or placed hurdles in the way of his work. The influence of Sangh gradually widened. Celebrating its reach and strength, the Sangh celebrated Independence Day on 26 January 1930 at all the Sangh Shakhas formed till then. Thousands of Swayamsevaks actively participated in India's freedom movement, and the Sangh openly supported them. In 1930, Dr. G led thousands of satyagrahis during Gandhiji's civil disobedience movement, known as Jangal, Shat- Satyagrah in Maharashtra. Along with nine senior Swayamsevaks, Dr. G was incarcerated and had to spend 1 year in prison. The Sangh also played a significant role in Chimur Chimur during the Chimur Ashti movement. Swayamsevaks participated in the historic Quit India movement in which Ramkant Keshav Deshpande, a lawyer and social activist, was sentenced to a life in term, which was later converted to a jail term. It was after independence that Deshpande started working for the Janajatis or tribal people in Chhattisgarh and founded the Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram. For people who are not familiar, the Sangh runs various organizations. They are called sister organizations of the Sangh. They operate on their own, So they have full autonomy, but they are associated with Sangh because people who were in the Sangh, they are primary members or of the sister organization. So one of the sister organization is called Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, which was founded in 1952, and that organization does a lot of social welfare work for the tribal people across India. Goa's liberation and integration with India was marked by peaceful satyagraha by Swayamsevaks. Dadra and Nagar Haveli also saw the commitment of Swayamsevaks to the motherland, where hundreds of them controlled the situation. The RSS views the RSS views participation in the freedom struggle as a natural duty that the daughters and sons of Mother India performed. Leadership choice. Today, most people know about RSS, but very few know about Dr. G. What made him special? There are great leaders who have a vision, but it is limited to their lifespan. Then there are leaders who are far-sighted but cannot create an instrument in their lifetime to either implement their vision or carry it to the next generation. And then there are leaders like Dr. G who had a long-term vision and were able to create an instrument that not only worked in their lifetime but was powerful enough to carry the work forward into the future generations as well. Dr. G was a unique personality. His vision was not encumbered by the limitations, prejudices, and ideas of the present. He visualized the strengths and weaknesses of both the past and the present, and thus an instrumental and thus an instrumentality was created that was realistic, futuristic, and balanced. It was not a theoretical model, but a practical method that was not dependent on him. The self-driven instrument was the Sangh Shakha, its methods and thoughts. It has stood the test of time. It is a robust organic movement. The growth and stability of the RSS movement verifies Dr. G's hypothesis. He had hypothesized correctly that the problems are chronic and cannot be solved by any one political party or government, but instead by the involvement of the common people. Now, this is very important point to be noted that he had hypothesized correctly that problems are chronic and cannot be solved by any one political party or government, but instead by the involvement of common people. Important problems, Dr. G felt, could not be solved by administration as the solution lay in social consensus, which had to be brought about by the voluntary determination of the people. He believed that voluntarism of common masses would build our nation, and this required strong character. Therefore, the RSS was never meant to be an elite club or a governed by specific interest groups. It was conceived essentially as an organization of common people. It has continued to remain beyond caste, profession, and social status. And as it expands, it has an inbuilt capacity to involve people from all walks of life. It was this thought that brought in the remarkable unconventionality in the Sangh's leadership choice. When the time come for succession, Appaji Joshi, considered to be Dr. G's right hand, was asked why he had not been chosen as the next Sarsanchalak. Why was Guruji, who was only 34 at that time, this given this responsibility? Affirming his closeness to Dr. G, Appaji said, I am Dr. G's right hand, if I am Dr. G's right hand, Guruji is his heart. Guruji knew how to implement Dr. G's vision. He was the best person. Guruji means um, Guruji is, let me see. Guruji here means the second Sanchalak, Mr. Golwalkar is talking about. So he is known as Guruji. Guruji was meritorious and young. Dr. Ji has spotted this ability in the time that both spent traversing the country. So there are no state jackets or preferential treatment. Even today, anyone with proven ability can lead Sangh. Network expansion in the RSS does not only mean increase in the number of shakhas, but also inclusion of different streams of people and beliefs. It is only a matter of time before Muslims and Christians too start feeling that the RSS is an organization for all of us. This is this is the assimilative current of Hindu society, which is the basics, which is the basic characteristic of India. Therefore, when the Sangh advances, it is not to imperil others or strike fear. The Sangh is India's biggest assimilative and integrative force. Core postulates of the Sangh thought. Dr. G often said, the British should go, but we must analyze why we were. This is very important to understand and analyze. Dr. G often said, the British should go, but we must analyze why we were subjugated and why we were not able to overcome the invaders. The principal question which not too many people have talked about, discussed about, meditated about. This question nagged him. After deep thought, he concluded that it was because we had lost our cultural unity and our sense of identity as Bharatiya. This is very important point to be noted. We lost our cultural unity and our sense of identity as Bharatiya, that India was repeatedly enslaved. The restoration, the, the, the restoration of that identity, the unity of people and connecting India's past to her future became his life's task and mission. From this central idea, the core postulates of Sangh thought emerged. These postulates are cultural nation or Rashtriyata. These postulates are cultural nation or Rashtriyata, spiritual unity or Ekatma, and oneness or uh, Samhita, Rashtriya or cultural nation, Rashtriyata or cultural nation. The Sangh considers language. The Sangh considers language to not only be a medium of communication but also a carrier of culture. It firmly believes that all languages and dialects should get their space and respect, especially ancient languages like Sanskrit and Tamil, which have a history of thousands of years and have been fellow and have been fellow travelers of Bharat's glorious history. It is necessary to promote all Indian languages. Many fear that seeking inspiration from the past will also mean revival of the inequities of the bygone era. But the Sangh has clarified on numerous occasions that we want to bring back the best traditions of the past and also change the wrong practices that have crept into society. The Sangh does not view the past, present, or future as separate or disjointed, but believes in a continuum that links all three. It believes in using the accumulated knowledge and experience of the past as a foundation and reference point for its present and future activities. The stronger this foundation, the better will be the progress. The Sangh has always believed that while adopting modern ways of life, the ancient traditions and practices should not be abandoned. Hence, the Sangh has continuously strived to ensure, both before and after independence, that ancient symbols and traditions are given appropriate place in society. Some critics have presented this as the Hindutva viewpoint and therefore contemplate. Let us examine what these Hindutva traditions are, the dharma practices considered Sanatan or eternal. These are the virtues of honesty, refraining from injuring living beings, purity, goodwill, mercy, patience, forbearance and forbearance, self-restraint, generosity, asceticism. Barring asceticism, which is the which is the terrain of few, most qualities are an absolute set of duties or religiosity ordained practices incumbent upon all Hindus, regardless of class, caste, or sect. Can we justify the rejection of the symbols and practices of a civilization thousands of years old just because of its Hindu roots? Ekatma, or spiritual unity. Everything in the universe is connected with each other. Each separate living being has a link with all other life forms. This includes human beings too. This is the essence of Indian knowledge, which has been expressed in the different languages, in numerous scriptures by sages and others in eras gone by. It is this philosophy that the Sangh propagates. This leads to a culture of mutual understanding, of forging links between different groups of people. In my opinion, these linkages bind the entire society into a common culture despite its diversity. That's why Sangh says that India is a cultural nation and its foundation is in Ekatmata. The Sangh has expended much energy in the restoring this and wants to guide the entire society along this path. Samhita or oneness. My experience with the Sangh has proved that it is an integrative force trying to create harmony, trust, and mutual respect. The fundamental purpose of Sangh work is the addition of new people and reaching out to more. If a decision requires four people, an attempt is made to consult eight. Or if it requires eight, 16 are involved. The idea is to involve the maximum number of people. The Sangh's ethos is to act with collective spirit. The manner in which its meetings are held supports a consultative process. Similarly, critical feedback is never discarded as being incorrect. The Sangh doesn't determine its opinion or action on the basis of the view of the majority alone. It makes realistic decisions on the basis of fact and logic. Hence, the Sangh's temperament is scientific and its decisions are logically derived. We are committed to instill this element of oneness in society as well. The Upanishad verse, mm, some gachavadam, some vedavan, samvo manasi janatam. Dev Bhagwan yatha purve sanjamane upasate, which means let us come together, let us speak together, let our minds be of one accord as the gods of old Sat sat together in harmony to worship, is a mantra of the RSS. The doctrine of Samhita stipulates that only when society irons out its internal differences can a nation progress. Thus, reaching out to people is a task of national interest. On religion. According to Indian tradition, the truth is one, but the wise ones call it by different names. Ekam Sat, Vipra, Bahuda, Vedanti. Therefore, no one should be discriminated against because of differences in the methods of worship. This is a critical difference between Sangh. This is very interesting. And we also have a program tomorrow at 10:15 p.m. where we are going to talk about Bal Tilak and Savarkar's views, okay, on various aspects of Hindu political life and Hindu cultural life. So do watch that program. It's on 10:15 p.m. tomorrow. So this is very interesting point we are discussing now. Hmm. This is a critical difference between the Sangh and the Hindu Mahasabha. Hindu Mahasabha is a nationalist group formed in 1905 to give Hindus a stronger voice in politics during the British rule. Wanted representation of the people on the basis of religion. The Sangh, on the other hand, made no such demand at any stage. It always propounded the idea that Bharat belongs to all who were born here and continue to live here, irrespective of religion, faith, or the school of thought they may belong to. After the partition of India, Guruji, the second Guruji means Mr. Golwalkarji, the second Satsang Chalak, gave a call to all Swayamsevaks to work for the victims of partition, irrespective of their religion, saying that it was a tragedy for everyone and that the Sangh would treat it as one. Swayamsevaks worked tirelessly, providing relief to all. The Sangh's relief work during the partition was taken note by every Congress leader, including Gandhiji. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's speech as the first Prime Minister of India in the convocation ceremony of the Aligarh Muslim University on 24th January 1948 is a powerful corroborative evidence of an awareness of a common cultural inheritance. Raising some valid questions in this speech, he said, I am proud of our inheritance and our ancestors who gave an intellectual and cultural preeminence to India. How do you feel about this past? Do you feel that you are also sharers in it and inheritors of it, and therefore proud of something that belongs to you as much as to me? He added, you are Muslims and I am a Hindu. We may adhere to different religious faiths or even to none, but that does not take away from the cultural inheritance that is yours as well as mine. The past holds us together. Why should the present or future divide us in spirit? Admittedly, at the time of country's partition, religion became a reason for much violence. The Sangh opposed the division on religious lines, and so when Gandhiji agreed to the partition, the Sangh was disheartened and condemned the decision. Later, when certain individuals assassinated Gandhiji, Sangh, Sangh detractors saw the tragedy as an opportunity to blame the Sangh, although investigations and inquiries later negated this viewpoint. In fact, Gandhiji had praised Sangh activities on the various instances. On 16 September 1947, Gandhiji visited a Shakha in Valmiki Basti, an enclave of so-called lower caste, where more than 500 Swayamsevaks were present. He praised the Sangh for its work as he had done earlier in 1934. This news was published in the Hindu newspaper on 17 September 1947. Sardar Patel, too, debunked negative perceptions about the Sangh during his 6 January 1948 address on All India Radio in Lucknow. He mentioned Swayamsevaks. They are patriots and they love their motherland. After assassination of Gandhiji, in a letter to Pandit Nehru on 27 February 1948, he wrote, after the examination of all accused, it is clear that the RSS has no role in the assassination of Gandhiji. But despite this, Pandit Nehru, due to political reasons, was biased and the ban on Sangh was withdrawn only after a countrywide satyagraha conducted by Swayamsevaks on 12 July 1949. Once, Deen Dayal Upadhyay, one of the Sangh thinkers and co-founders of the Bharatiya Janasangh and the precursor to the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP), was asked about the fate of Muslims in Bharat. The questioner implied that the Sangh was engaged in aggregating the Hindus. It would weaken the Muslims. He replied that as the Hindus in India were known for their coexistent values, Muslims would come to no harm and they needed to be free of fear. India was partitioned mainly because of the Muslim League, which wanted a nation of their own. Muslims living in India are better off here than any other place. They have more democratic freedom and representative rights than any other place in the world. In India, there are various sects of Islam who practice their beliefs without fear. which is not possible even in Islamic states. Religious conversions and secessionist activities in some parts of the country, particularly in tribal dominated regions, pres- present a fundamental threat to the values, ideals, and principles of India. In the beginning, the Congress was alive to such issues but gradually developed a clear disconnect and disregard. For instance, to resolve and address the threat arising out of religious conversions of Hindus into Christianity, engineered by the Christian missionaries through money, coercion, and deceit, the Congress government of Madhya Pradesh had set up the Niyogi Committee on Christian Missionary Activity 1956, but it did not implement the committee recommendations. Another example of a similar conversion activity of the Christian missionaries and secessionist insurgency arose in the Northeast. The then the then Information and Broadcasting Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, wrote a letter to Swami Ranganathananda of the Ramakrishna Mission Mutt. In her letter dated 21st July 1965, she requested the Mutt to open schools in the region for the tribal people. This was requested because Christian missionaries ran educational and health institutions in the tribal hinterland and used it as a springboard for conversions. As a Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi too had expressed grave concerns on the spurt of religious conversions of the Hindus to Islam in Meenakshipuram in Tamil Nadu. What successive governments have acknowledged in a muted manner, the Sangh announced loudly. Conversion is a threat, particularly in tribal and underprivileged areas. The Sangh has expanded its footprint in those spheres. It is a high priority focus. The Sangh runs a wide range of diverse programs through its Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, as I mentioned earlier, a social welfare organization dedicated to the tribal people and is headquartered in uh, Jashpur, Chhattisgarh, making India great. The Sangh is not a political party but a social organization. It has no political intent nor does it work for any political outcome, but it has a political impact on national political life. Even though it stays away from politics, its Shakha system has produced Swayamsevaks who are now in the politics and have attained high positions. These are incidental facts. The general line in Sangh is that the RSS will do nothing other than running shakhas, but the Swayamsevaks will enter every sphere of activity. The Swayamsevaks work in all domains of society: education, politics, economy, security, and culture. RSS has only one goal: making India great. It is dedicated to the cause of a corruption-free Bharat. The Sangh works for uniting all castes and for establishing a strong Hindu society. Some people want mechanical imitations of the Western model of education, industry, administration, and health services, while the Sangh wants to create a new system that are in line with native ideas of this land. The Sangha leadership has always been aware and conscious of new technologies, particularly the ones related to nuclear weapons and satellite communications. It also puts a premium on the development of indigenous technologies to prevent dependency on other countries. It believes that we should modify technologies developed elsewhere in the world to suit our conditions. Two things must always be kept in mind while adopting technologies. One, technology should never replace human beings because though it may be faster than humans, it cannot be a substitute for human beings. Whenever human interest has been overlooked in favor of machines, the consequences have been adverse and undesirable. One such example is the mindless adoption of technology causing environmental pollution. The Sangh advocates the use of eco-friendly technologies, particularly those that have indigenous origin. In the RSS worldview, social change is a time-consuming process and must be based on a realistic assessment of the preparedness. This is very interesting. We need to analyze this. In the RSS worldview, social change is a time consuming process and must be based on a realistic assessment of preparedness of society and its surrounding environment that makes the change stable. Therefore, it does not believe in spontaneous and random revolution. Its activities are plan driven, directed by experience, conviction, and pragmatic imagination. In summation, the RSS philosophy is the eternal spirit of Bharat. It is based on the following lines: Om Sarve Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Nirmaya. Okay, I cannot read full part of it because I'm not a very good at Sanskrit, but it means I'll read the English translation. Om, may all become happy. May all be healthy, free from illness. May all see what is auspicious. May no one suffer in any way. Om peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The last words. This ends the chapter one. Okay. Yes, Rishi. This is used in many places. Yes, I did see that, but I don't think we are going to discuss that thing because that is something which is that I do not know. If I knew, I would put my bets in right stocks. Okay, let's read the second chapter as well. I think we have time. Okay, we will, let's see. Shakha system and structure, how the RSS works. Because a lot of people have a lot of questions about Sangh working and how the Sangh works and other things. So let's read a book and understand from the people who run the Sangh that how the Shakha actually works. When Shakha system and structure, how the RSS works. When Dr. G began, when Dr. G began the Sangh on Vijayadashmi in September 1925, he did not make any grandstanding speeches, nor were any of his announcements printed in the newspapers. He did not offer any blueprint or programs. The RSS had no written constitution, as Dr. G gave primacy to the creation of the organization, not paperwork. Publicly, publicity was shunned. Okay, this is very important thing to understand. Publicity was shunned as a matter of principle, with rare self assuredness forged out of the great personal hardship. Dr. G embarked on his mission with band of 25 young Swayamsevaks. So many of people complain about that why RSS that does not do a lot of publicity of his good work that they have done. So this is the primary, it is the ethos that we are going to do our work, but we are not going to publicize our work. But now we have seen that has actually changed. Now we have a lot of people who are part of Sangh would conduct press conference. The people of the higher echelons of leadership would invite media to give their points of view. Even we have seen the YouTube channels and other programs cover Sangh. We have seen Sangh people go to media conferences and give their points of view. So Sangh is an like it's a dynamic organization. So it changes its structure, its working style based on the on ground on ground realities. So although it was there, but now it has adapted because now the times have changed. So Sangh was started by 25 young Swayamsevaks. The first acting secretary of the Sangh, Raghunath Rao Bande, diligently recorded the details of the meetings of the Sangh and prepared the minutes of its formation and the incorporation of its name. After the constitution and naming of the Sangh, the first meeting of the RSS was held at Dr. G's residence on 9th May 1926. It resolved the basics. It resolved the basics to assemble every fortnight and set up physical fitness gymnasiums. Discussions were conducted on the uniforms for Swayamsevaks and the logistics for the Shiv, Shiv Jayanti festival, an important highlight of the RSS almanac. The meeting on 21st June 1926, held at a students' orphanage, deliberated over its working methods. A key meeting on 12th December 1926 to impart military education to the Swayamsevaks. The day and time were fixed at 6 o'clock in the morning of every Sunday. It was around this time that the structure of the RSS emerged. A meeting on 19th December 1926 averred that the that the ease of decision making and for discipline purposes. One person needed to be the reference point, the nomenclature for this person of authority. A consensus resolution gave this position to Dr. G. He assumed charge as Sar Chalak on 10th November 1929. Our national identity is Hindu identity, was Dr. G's grammar of nationalism. The RSS was formed to re-establish this identity. The first Shakha. The Shakha seen today, the Shakha seen today went through phases of evolution. Nana Hari, Nana Hari Palkar's book. So Nana Hari Palkar is again a Sangh functionary who wrote a book on Dr. G, Dr. Baliram Hedgewar. So Nana Hari Palkar's book describes the first Shakha. In Dr. G's house, there was an assemblage of 20 teenagers. Bhauji, Bhauji Kaure, Anna, Anna Soni, Vishwanath Rao Kelkar, Balaji Suddar, Bapurao Bhedi were some of the attendees mentioned. The term Baitak, denoting meeting, is traced to this space. Dr. G used to frequent the local gymnasium like Nagpur Vyamshala and Maharashtra Vyamshala to recruit Swayamsevaks. Vyamshala was a revolutionary tradition in Bengal and Maharashtra. So Vyamshala and in Bengal we had Onushalan Samiti. So people might know that Dr. G got the idea of physical training, physical fitness, and Vyamshalas as a center point of assembling people, of youth, and giving them training discipline came from Onushalan Samiti, which was founded and was based out of Bengal presidency. So as you mentioned, Vyamshala was a revolutionary tradition in Bengal and Maharashtra. Swami Vivekananda was taught Raja Raj Yoga. Okay. Swami Vivekananda, who taught Raj Yoga to the West, was its great votary. Swami Vivekananda actually advocated for Vyamshalas for physical fitness. In Bengal, Vyam Samitis were connected to freedom struggle leaders like Rishi Aurobindo, Jyotindranath Mukherjee, Elias Bagajotin, and many Onushalan Samiti heavyweights. Wrestling and stick fighting exhibitions were common in the meetings of the time. The gymnasiums were the identified catchment areas where nationalist youth congregated. So Dr. G decided to look there. Soon after, Ishwar uh, Ishwar Dwara okay Itwar Dara Prathamik okay Itwar Dwara Prathamik Shala, now Aditwar Darwaza, Sangh's own physical fitness program began. Anna Soni began teaching Lathi drill. After 28th May 1926, the content of Shakha schedules was systemized. Beyond Nagpur, the Shakha footprint was first planted in the Wardha. Wardha is a region in Maharashtra. The famous khaki shorts uniforms was also instituted during this phase. This uniform was designed by Dr. G and was worn originally by the volunteers of Bharat Sevak Samaj that he created for the 1920 Congress Nagpur session. So Dr. G was a member of the Congress. He was in Congress party. and he created this dress for 1920 for the Congress Nagpur session. Shakhas, microcosm of India. The precursor of Shakha system was the mm, Swadhyay Mandal Swadhyay Mandal or study circles. Later, physical fitness programs were added and training camps began. As these gradual layers got added, the daily shakhas commenced. The Shakha timetable is an hour long. Its main components are standardized and have been the same since time of its commencement. There are there are Sharirik physical drills, bauddhic intellectual, bauddhic intellectual or academic discussions. So both kind of things takes place. There is a Sharirik physical drill where you will do some physical exercise in the Shakha, also bauddhic intellectual or academic discussions. Khel games, sports are played, and Samata practice sessions for systematic parade. The RSS flag, the RSS flag hosting at the beginning of the Shakha is protocol driven and Swayamsevaks are taught to stand in attendance. The Shakha closes with a prayer. There is a fair bit of localization in the choice of games to be played and subjects to be discussed. The Sharirik Vibhag, Department of Physical Fitness, and Bauddhic Vibhag, Department of Intellectual and Cultural Affairs, are dynamic as they study feedback and absorb changes. Those assigned as shikshak or teachers in the shakhas go through a vigorous training process to ensure that the shakha system works efficiently and regularly. Regional and national adhikari or office bearers of the RSS tour extensively. One more thing, I think many people might not know, many people know it, that the full-time RSS pracharaks, they travel across the country, even across the globe sometimes, but they never live in a hotel. What they do is, when a pracharak or a pracharak comes to a place to visit a shakha or he's visiting, he would be living in the house of a local RSS member. So there is no hotel system. Okay. So there are Swayamsevaks and pracharaks who visit those places or shakhas. They would be living in the house of the members of that specific shakha or that area. So office bearers of the RSS tour extensively, just like the cell is the basic unit of a living organism. The Shakha is the basic unit of RSS. Every Swayamsevak has a Shakha to which he belongs. In my case, as a child growing up in Nagpur, I was part of the Mohite Shakha. When I moved to uh, Sita Baldi, I was part of Choti Dhantoli, Choti Dhantoli Shakha and then Congress Nagar Shakha. When I moved to Mumbai in 2003, Shivaji Udyan Prabhat became my Shakha. Although the discussion in the Shakha are just for an hour, for the Swayamsevak, the timeline is 24 hours. Every Swayamsevak is available 24/7 on call for the organization society, especially during a natural calamity or an accident. Their duties don't end by merely visiting the Shakha. There are no deactivated Swayamsevaks. The Shakha system ensures that everyone remains spirited. This means that no Swayamsevak becomes a Swayamsevak for a particular duration like members in other organizations. Swayamsevaks voluntarily commit for their for their lifetimes, which influences their families as well. Shakhas are held in the morning, evening, and night to cater to the increasing numbers and to incorporate diverse time schedules for people of the various age groups. So this is important. So let me give an example that people who do jobs, okay, so and they might not have time to come to Shakha. So there are special Shakhas organized for like IT employees, for accountants, for other people. So and the time will be different. So it's a dynamic organization which actually moves with time, changes its approach towards how it does work. It's an accommodative organization which accommodates people. People might not agree with their process, but that is how it works. Weekly get-togethers called Saptahik Milans are also held. Those who cannot come to the Shakha can come to the monthly Sangh Mandalis or groups. These are non-Shakha formations, informal setups convertible to Shakhas on, on maturation. If Sangh Mandalis gain critical mass in terms of engagement, they are moved up the value chain into weekly meetings, and if these experience traction, they progress to become daily shakas and acquire a more formal structure. Through such sequential progression, the Shakha network expands. In March 2019, there were 37,011 shakhas assemblies held throughout the country, and the total number of shakhas on the said date was 59,266. Saptahic millions were around 17,229 and 8,382 Masic million or monthly meets were accounted for. These these statistics were presented at the ABPS by Suresh Joshi, the RSS Sir Kareva, fondly addressed as Bhaiya Ji by the people. The captain of a shakha is the Mukhya Shikshak or the head teacher. While traveling across the country, the national and regional office bearers of RSS conduct reviews with the Mukhya Shikshak and discuss how to improve the shakha system. Dr. G's dialogue with Gandhiji. This is interesting. Okay. In December 1934, the Sangh training camp was held in Wardha, where Gandhiji was on his visit to Wardha Sevagram Ashram. Gandhiji sent a message through his personal secretary, Mahadev Desai, expressing his inclination to visit the Sangh training camp. So, on 25th December 1934, appoint, at the appointment time of 6 o'clock in the morning, Gandhiji visited the camp along with 25 Varda Sevagram Ashram inmates. Around 1,500 Swayamsevaks were present in their uniforms at the Sangh Varda training camp. According to archival sources, Gandhiji appreciated the manner in which welcome salutations were expressed, along with the uniformity, equality, and cleanliness of the camp. He told Appaji Joshi, a close associate of Dr. G, I am very happy. I have not seen a more alluring scene than this. Gandhiji observed that within an hour everyone's meal was taken care of. He asked about the cost, adding that adding that in the Congress the expense per person was 1 rupees for 2 meals. He was surprised and wondered how the Sangh managed with such a small budget, a small budget of rupees 1 for 9 meals. Appaji responded by saying that everyone who attended the Sangh training camps brought their own rations, usable items, and minor subscriptions. Therefore, everything could be conducted at nominal costs. On co-mingling and co-working of caste, Gandhiji asked the Swayamsevaks how they interacted, to which he got a response in Hindi, "हम सब हिंदू हैं और हम सब बंधु हैं," meaning we are all Hindus and we are all brothers. When Gandhiji wanted to know what the Sangh did to get rid of caste iniquities, everyone pointed out to Dr. G's training, which stressed upon everyone working together. The next day, on 26 December, Gandhiji met Dr. G at the Vardha ashram, where he praised Dr. G's work and asked him about the RSS constitution. When Gandhiji asked Dr. G definition of a Swayamsevak, Dr. G replied, one who would happily, of his own free will and with goodwill towards all, succeed in submitting everything for the national cause. I would consider him a Swayamsevak leader. My target is to raise such Swayamsevaks. In this organization, There is no difference between leader and a Swayamsevak. We are all Swayamsevaks, bearing equality towards all. We make no distinction and have no place for hierarchies. Even today in the RSS, no task is high or low. Everyone has to handle the task assigned to them. When Gandhiji probed Dr. Ji about the budget and asked whether help was provided by the House of Bajaj, Dr. Ji clarified that financial help was not sought. The RSS ran with Guru Dakshina money, modest contributions of the same sevaks. Despite clarification, Gandhiji was still skeptical about the model working when the work would no longer be limited and small. Not to be cowed down, Dr. G added that when people would realize that the RSS work was vital for society's sustenance, they themselves would come forward with wealth contributions. At such a time, financial help would not be opposed or refused. Shakha teachings. In all the shakhas, the most important lesson taught is India is a Hindu Rashtra. India developed on a profound understanding of unity, which finds expression in the of conduct of relations and behavioral patterns. This is the tradition of Indian knowledge systems and culture, and the Hindu in essence. Preservation and development of these values and symbols are a high priority task. Pride in India's culture and history, propagating it as worthy of emulation and recalibrating this ancient wisdom in the modern time is key to nation first theory. From this flow, the the paramountcy of unity and integrity of India. This is the principle of Akhand Bharat or national integration. The Sangh believes that prejudice and differences based on caste, religion, and wealth should not exist in society. Diversity is celebrated as different manifestation of Hindu culture. Cooperation, mutual respect, and peace in the conduct of world affairs is the message it wants to convey. These fundamental precepts constitute the Hindu Rashtra and are explained in a simple form. The Sangh seeks inspiration from India's heritage and classical learnings. It is modern because it is adaptive has and has the capacity to absorb the changes that are taking place in the society. This creates its connectedness with the next generation. The, the Shakha system is a juggernaut for, for service to society. It has no desire to be a hegemonic or overwhelmed society with its ideas, policies, and practices. It is inherently responsive, mirrors society's requirements, and is aware that change is a complex process. By 1940, the Sangh network had reached all parts of the country. Dr. G had predicted the intertwining of the Sangh and India. In his last speech at the Sangh Shakha work or training camp, Dr. G said, I am seeing microcosm of India today. Dr. G passed away in 1940. He was only 51. To the defense of society. By the time Dr. G passed away in 1940, expansion had taken place and a structure for transmitting Sangh ideas was fully functional. The political climate was stormy. India was throes in the throes of freedom struggle. World War II had begun and Swayamsevaks were participating in the Quit India movement led by Gandhiji. According to British records, in a place called Asti near Nagpur, 8 freedom fighters were hanged and 2 of them were Swayamsevaks. At the same time, the dark clouds of communalism were gathering. The appeasement of Muslim League and the accommodation of two-nation politics by the Congress was an attack on Hindu society. Direct Action Day, Direct Action, Increasing Violence Against Hindu Community, Gandhiji's, Gandhiji's consistent instructions to Hindus Gandhiji's consistent instructions to Hindus for peace while embracing likes of Sohrawardi, the butcher of Calcutta killings, emboldened Jinnah and Muslim League. It turned out it It turned the it turned a partition of Pakistan into a clarity. India won its independence, but partition was the heavy price it paid for. In such a situation, M.S. Golwalkar or Guruji, who was the Sarsang Chalak at that time, rose like um, Parivajak savior or monk who travels for doing public good. It was the patriot monk's greatest challenge, and he gave every fiber of his being to it. As he led with yogic self-mastery and elan, thousands of Swayamsevaks followed him to defend Hindu society in the bloodlands of West Pakistan and Northwest Frontier Province, both of which are now in Pakistan. Guruji expanded the Sangh work in West Punjab, traveling frequently to Lahore and Karachi. In Punjab, there were 1,500 shakhas comprising of 84,820 Swayamsevaks. Each shakha had attendees within the range of 80 to 100. Punjab was divided into seven regions or kshetras: Multan, Rawalpindi, Lailpur, Jammu, Jalandhar, Amritsar, and Lahore. In July-August 1947, two Sangh training camps were conducted. The training camp in West Punjab drew 1,937 Swayamsevaks and 338 attended from Lahore. However, the Sangh training camps were terminated prematurely because of the partition. Swayamsevaks in all the sakhas were issued directions to fan out, protect imperiled Hindu families, transport them to safety, and run camps in the east for the refugees from West Punjab. Relief and rescue missions in different localities and towns were undertaken by the Punjab Relief Committee formed for this purpose. Since March 1946, this committee had started its work for Hindu refugees streaming from northwest frontier into Lahore. From Sindh, an influx of Hindu refugees came into Rajasthan, in Kota and Ajmer, and to Gujarat and Mumbai. In all these places, the Shakha network was galvanized to protect Hindu society and defend the honor of Hindu women who were the routine targets of abductions and insensate, in, insensate violence. Islamic raids were common in Punj and Rajouri sectors of Jammu and Kashmir. Here too, the Shaka system was working in a concerted pitch. The book Jyoti in the book Jyoti Jala Nij Pran Ki, written by Manik Chand Vajpayee and Sridhar Paratkar, gives a five gives a 572-page account of how Guruji led his heroic Swayamsevaks. On 5th August 1947, Guruji reached Karachi. A big public meeting was held in Karachi Fire Brigade Maidan. Karachi's population of 6 lakh was evenly distributed between Hindus and Muslims. Understand, Karachi had a population 50-50, Hindus and Muslims. Guruji's meeting was attended by 1.5 lakh people, and the entire Hindu society of Karachi came to listen to him. Similarly, in Hyderabad, Sindh, now in Pakistan, where the Hindu population numbered 65,000, a big meeting was organized and was attended by 35,000 people. The RSS became the stoutest defender of Hindu society during this dark phase of the Holocaust and ethnic cleansing of Hindus. The RSS Sah for many years. H.V. H.V. Sheshadri has written extensive accounts of how bravely the Swayamsevaks worked in the areas of West Punjab, Sindh, and Northwest frontier to protect Hindu community, and how many perished while doing so. The official machinery was in doldrums. The exodus of Hindus and RSS relief camps became the dominant narrative. Popular genre films like the Bhag Milkha Bhag have referred to these camps. The RSS network in Bengal and Assam was not as extensive as in Punjab, Sindh, and J&K. Yet relief and rescue efforts were mounted. The uh, Vastu, uh, Vastuhara Vastuhara Sahayak Samiti, or relief committee for displaced persons, was set up in Calcutta. Refugees help centers were put up at major stations like Howrah, Shialda, Murshidabad, and Malda. A big center was started in Kalna in the Bardhaman district. Help centers came up in Bakura, Midnapur, and Hooghly districts. In Assam too, Vastuhara Samiti was constituted. Shillong, Silchar, Tinsukia, Dibrugarh, Agartala, Nagaon, Tezpur, Dhubri, Lamding, and Karimganj became centers of relief action. Sculpting the network. The partition era work helped in further developing the working methods of Sangh. Guruji's biggest contribution was the sculpting of a nationwide Sangh network with defined process and systems. Guruji was brought into the Sangh's fold by Dr. Ji. He was a professor who became a monk of the Ramakrishna order of sannyasis, having been initiated by Swami Akhandananda, a brother monk of Swami Vivekananda. Okay, interesting. In deference to Akhandananda's wishes, Guruji pledged to work for society and was inducted by Dr. G. The RSS has been fortunate in terms of its leadership bank. All those who have moved on to become Sarsanchalas have been moral stalwarts amongst men. This is a rare achievement. Dr. G once said that an organization should not wake up to occasional activity, and in 15 years that he led the Sangh from 19 to 25, when the Sangh was established in 1940, when it was to 1940, so 15 years he was 25 to 40. When he passed away, Dr. G set everything on a firm footing. He was an extremely gifted talent scout, and he found and groomed high caliber activists who had India in their souls. Two of them in this series who were guided by Dr. G and held important responsibilities under him were Guruji, who was the Sah Kareva, and Bala Sahib Devras. He was also a very important functionary, who became Pracharak in 1939 and moved to Kolkata. He was asked to return to Nagpur when Dr. G's health deteriorated. Both of them went on to become Sarsang Chalaks in cataclysmic times. Guruji was the Sarsang Chalak for 33 years, and his work is the stuff of folklore. Balasaheb Devras was the Sarsang Chalak for 20 years and led independent India's struggle for the restoration of democracy. Both both battled bans on Sangh as well as repression. In Guruji's time, the ban on Sangh after Gandhiji's murder was a political conspiracy. A section of politicians tried to link the RSS with Gandhiji's murder. Legal redress was sought and achieved. When Satyagrahis forced government for a fair inquiry that proved accusations wrong and exposed the political conspirators who were keen to suppress the RSS. In Balasaheb Devra's time, the ban was part of the overall repression in the country and was lifted once democracy was. So we're talking about 1975 emergency when Balasaheb Devras was the Sarsang Chalak. Ban was part of the overall repression in the country and was lifted once democracy was re-established uh, through anti-emergency struggle. After every ban, the Sangh has arisen to build itself more stoutly in the spirit of uh, Panchahari, okay, Punascha Hari Om, or Pledge for Revival. Punascha, revival. Pledge for revival. Guruji's catchphrase for every crisis. The Pracharak, full-time worker system, was started in 1942. The divisions of Prant, province, Kshetra, region came into existence in 1950. The structure of ABPS, an all India body of representatives from all levels, was also created during this time. It is the highest decision making body of RSS regarding policy and priorities. Before this system was established, there was a core committee of senior members of all regions, which collectively made decisions, a process Dr. G had instituted. At a 10-day meeting held in Sindhi near Nagpur in 1939, a year before Dr. G's demise, a decision was taken regarding the titles for office bearers. the departments, the RSS prayer Ekatma and Stotra, verses of oneness. The Sangha prayer. The initial RSS prayer and several dimensions of Sangh practices are deeply influenced by the works of Samarth Ramdas. Samarth Ramdas was a saint. This prayer began with Bharat Mata Ki Jai and concluded with Rashtra Guru, Rashtra Guru Swami Ramdas Maharaj Ki Jai. It was a combination of Marathi and Hindi stanzas. As the Sangh expanded, the RSS prayer was changed to Sanskrit to reflect its national representation and ended with Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Once again, this has been recited with fervor by Swayamsevaks all over the country from 1940. The change was brought in with Dr. G's consent. He was remarkably focused on constructive agendas, even in the selection of words. There was a popular prayer in Hindi which stated, "Render us free from our faults soon." Dr. G felt this had a negative connotation and changed the line to "Fill us with good qualities and render us Purna, complete Hindus." He was a self-aware Swayamsevak. As Dr. G said, though Sangh was started in Nagpur, Sangh's home is all India. Its work sphere lies in each and every village of India. In 1945, delivering his Vijayadashami speech, Guruji said, "Sangh has the nectar of values with which it is busy in its work, peacefully. There is no place for provincialism in Sangh's thought. The Sangh is a factory for expanding human greatness." The Ekatma Srota, Om Satchidananda Rupaya Namostu Paromane, a collection of 33 verses, is recited in all Sangh offices and gatherings. It is a record of all. It is a record of all who distinguish themselves in their service for India. It is a tribute that covers thousands of years of history: kings, queens, warriors, saints, scientists, scholars, philosophers, artists, musicians, poets, and all the hallowed geographical sites of India. It is a daily remembrance through which attachment to the nation is instituted. Ekatma mantra. Okay, and the mealtime prayer. Brahmapuram. Okay, Brahma. Okay, I cannot read this, but anyway, are key elements of daily life of a Swayamsevak. It is the ethics driving the functional tasks that they perform for society's welfare. An ecosystem of integration. From an organizational perspective, the Sangh currently comprises 44 provinces. Each kshetra is comprised of some prants. Each prant is a further segmented into a collection of districts called Vibhag. Each district has some towns and villages called Nagar, and each Nagar has a collection of localities called Basti. The main working departments of the RSS are Sharirik Vibhag, Physical Activities Department; Baudhik Vibhag, Ideological Training Department; Pracharak Vibhag, full-timer department; Prachar Vibhag, Propagation Department; Sampark Vibhag, Outreach Department; Seva Vibhag, Public Service Department; Vyavastha Vibhag, Logistics Department, and some actively related departments like Kutumb Kutumb Prabandhan, work among families; Gau Seva, cow welfare; Gram Vikas, village development; Dharam Jagran Vibhag, religious discourse department; and Samrast with local, regional, and national coordination for the strengthening of national spirit. Planning and implementation and review is an ongoing process, and tours are undertaken across all tiers by local, regional, and national office bearers. There are six festive highlights in the Sangh Almanac. Varsh Pratipada, okay, Varsh Pratipada, Hindu New Year, Hindu Samrajya Divas, coronation of Shivaji Maharaj, Guru Purnima, Raksha Bandhan, Sankranti, and Vijayadashmi. The Sangh training camps are an ecosystem of integration. For 25 days, trainees stay together. They are divided into groups of around 18 people, four for purpose of physical training. These groups are called Gun, and when they assemble for intellectual discourse and other activities, they are called Gat. Groups are named after famous national heroes or social reformers belonging to different states. For instance, a group in the training camp in Maharashtra may be named after social reformers like Narayan Guru, Sant Ravidas, who worked to end injustice and caste discrimination. The groups get together for practice sessions of patriotic songs from different languages. In this manner, Swayamsevaks are given national exposure. In the third year of training in Nagpur, one group usually has Swayamsevaks from nearly 10 states, thus further deepening the engagement for all India perspective. Thus, Ekatmata becomes a behavioral practice. The famous Bengali poet Dijendra Lal Ray's lyrical ode to the motherland, সকল দেশের রানী সেজে আমার জন্মভূমি, is learnt by all Swayamsevaks and is popular. Okay, that's interesting that in RSS, this poem, which is a very famous poem in Bengal, called written by Dijendra Lal Ray's lyrical ode to motherland, Shakol Deshe Rani Seje Ama Janmabhoomi, is learned by all Swayamsevaks and is popular rendition. Technology is used in some training camps for variety of functions, account, accounting for head counts, patriotic song selection, and registration apps. But mainstay is person-to-person dialogue. From Shakha to all India level, dialogue and outreach, social works for society are discussed. How to reach every village, town, district, and family is a constant occupation. In present times, discussions are held on how to reach every apartment block. The working of ABVP was systemized by Yashwant Rao Kelkar. A book on his life and teachings towards man making explained how lasting expansion takes place by educating public conscience through debate and deliberations. Dattopant Thengadi, uh, Dattopant Thengadi's famous book Karyakarta also dwells on the same subject. At the latest meeting of RSS held on 29 to 31 October 2018, the major discussion was on how to improve areas adjoining the Shakha sites. Self-management systems in so, Self-management systems in society should be developed. Everything does not need to be driven by government bodies. This is very important part of it. Everything does not need to be driven by government bodies. As the truth as the truth needs no varnish, the focus is on any kind of the focus is not on any kind of marketing this even at this age of blaring advertisement campaigns, but only on work quality assurance. Lessons from the emergency. In independent India, the biggest democratic movement for civil liberties was undertaken by the Sangh as Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who ran an almost dictatorial government, smashed democracy and declared a 21-month emergency from 1975 to 1977. Part, okay, okay, I can't read the Roman numerals. Okay. Of the Constitution of the India states that emergency provisions, Article 355 to 360, which are there to deal with abnormal situations where normal government machinery set up by the Constitution cannot function. Mrs. Gandhi had the proclamation of emergency declared on the ground of internal disturbance. The press note relating to the proclamation stated, certain persons have been inciting the police and the armed forces against the discharge of their duties and their normal functions. functioning. This proclamation of emergency was made on 25th June 1975 under Article 352 of the Constitution in response to the anti-corruption and anti-price rise movement sweeping the country against her government. Mrs. Gandhi wanted monolithic control, tried to destroy the basic features of the Constitution, and brought in the 42nd Amendment Act 1976, imposing it under emergency. Subsequently, such provisions of the amendment were struck down by the Minerva Mills case Minerva Mills case judgment in 1980. The 44th Amendment in 1978 substituted the words internal disturbance with armed rebellion. After 1978, it was not possible to issue a proclamation of emergency on the ground of mere internal disturbance, which does not constitute an armed rebellion. This is still very much the constitutional position today. Soon after proclamation of emergency, Mrs. Gandhi and the president of the Congress Party, Dev Kant Baruch, pronounced their intent to destroy the RSS. At a meeting of Central Secretariat officials held on 27 June 1975, Mrs. Gandhi declared the RSS as a root cause of internal disturbance. Simultaneously, Borua, addressing the conference of Youth Congress leaders, said, "We want to completely destroy the RSS. They should not be given an opportunity to reorganize." The Indira Gandhi government banned the RSS on 4th July 1975. All fundamental rights were suspended under emergency. The right to move to the courts for enforcement of rights was also suspended. So, mass mobilization and struggle were the only option left. To protest against emergency, all political parties got together and formed the Lok Sangharsh Samiti, led by veteran Gandhian freedom fighter Jayaprakash Narayan. For 10 days, from 15th to 25 July 1975, a national satyagraha was planned. The operationalization of this plan was delegated to Nanaji Deshmukh, a Sangh stalwart of the time. For the Swayamsevaks, fighting the repression and the tyranny of the Congress government was the foremost task. In these difficult times, Balasaheb Devras led the RSS, a Sarsang Chalak. The band did not invoke fear but only increased their grit, and the RSS led the anti emergency movement with spectacular strength. After the incarceration of Nanaji, the entire coordination was taken up by Mahadev Rao Mule. 15 years, 50 years of continuous work had yielded a rich harvest of Swayamsevaks. A big, efficient team was available despite jail sentences for top leaders. There were 1,356 Pacharaks. Out of this pool, 189 were in jail, and the rest of were underground and working actively. The Sangh division, division of work was pressed into action. From an operations perspective, the whole country was divided into 6 zones or kshetras that, prior to the emergency, were comprised into 4. Among the Pacharaks, uh, Bhurao Devras, the younger brother of Balasaheb Devras, and senior functionary of RSS in charge of coordination with the BJP, and Morpant Pingle, the man behind the Ram Mandir movement, began working as associates of Mahadev Rao Mule, who now ran the Lok Shankar Samiti. A Nagarik Swatantra Morcha, or Citizens Freedom Movement, was formed. Its work was directed by the fourth Sarjan Chalak, Professor Rajendra Singh, fondly called Rajju Bhaiya. Foreign relations were looked after by Balasaheb Bhide and Chaman Lal. Pacharaks in the Sangh. Protest literature preparation was based out of Delhi and handled by Bhanu Pratap Shukla, editor of Panchanya, a weekly magazine. In Nagpur, this work was overseen by Anant Kumar Gokhale and Madhu Limai, a socialist leader who also coordinated movements against emergency. Relations with religious heads were maintained by Dada Sahib Apte. Apatkalin Sangharsh Gatha is a compendium of Sangh's role in the anti-emergency movement. It was put together by K. Nagaraj, Professor Dasi Desai, and Narendra Modi. the Prime Minister of India. While Narendra Modi and K.S. Nagaraj were Pracharaks at the time, Dasi, uh, Dasi Desai retired as principal of Kirti College, Mumbai. Even though the Shakha was banned, the Shakha system functioned efficiently. No Shakhas could be held anywhere in the country where Swayamsevaks could do their drills, salute or saffron RSS flag, and participated in intellectual discourses. But the Shakha is not simply a spatial physical construct. It is the RSS work ethic, which remained rock solid as did the code of obedience to orders of duty. This was fully utilized during the anti-emergency movement. Those Swayamsevaks who were jailed conducted their shakhas even during their imprisonment, and all jails became shakha sites. In fact, most felt that jail was privileged because every morning they could loudly render Namaste Sada Vastale Matri, which means forever I bow to thee, O loving motherland. Sangh training camps were held inside jail compounds. Those who were outside became the welfare custodians of those who were jailed, looking after their families and court cases. Time Sevaks held on to each other and fought the most tyrannical regime to restore life and liberty to India. ABVP played a key role in this movement. The social anger was represented by the student community. This was a return of the student activism in the days of the freedom struggle. The student movements in Gujarat, followed by Bihar movement, demonstrated the resolve of young India for democracy. Students' protests in Gujarat began with rising dining bills in hostel messes. This soon spread, this soon spread to Bihar and other states as anti-price rise and anti-corruption movements against the Congress government and its repressive policies. ABVP played a key role in both the Gujarat and Bihar movements. Due to its Sangh roots, ABVP retained its character as a students' organization and did not merge in any party politics, which was a big propensity for most student organizations of that time. The anti-emergency movement held heavy lessons held heavy lessons for the future. It showed that no matter how difficult the times were, the Sangh would not veer away from social agenda. Since since many Swayamsevaks are today seen in one political party, the BJP, surely RSS values will impact the nature of Indian politics. The RSS has an idea and imagination about politics and good political parties, but it does not involve itself in politics. About India's political future, the RSS feels that there will be many political parties, but they will all be proud of India's ancient lineage and symbols. They will be united on matters of fundamental values and Hindu cultural heritage. Differences will exist, but they will be in the context and context of ideas, models of development for the country. 20. Okay. We'll read this chapter in our next session. It's about midnight. Oh, thank you again. Namaste. Namaste, Mahesh ji. I'm really privileged that you have joined the stream and you are listening to the reading session. So I try to read as many books as possible, but with also, so thank you very much for your presence. I'm really grateful for this. So if people have any questions, you can do ask questions. Okay, I'll try to answer to best of my abilities. Okay. But we will continue the reading session in our maybe next week. Again, we'll try to read a few more things. So if people want to, they can ask. I will wait for a few minutes for questions to come or any comments you have. And let me take a few questions as well. I think there are a lot of comments have come. Okay, this has taken. Okay. M. Shastri has asked, it will be interesting to see if organizational structure of Sangh is used by other organizations? I think they are. Shakha system is used by non-Sangh Hindutva organizations as well. Uh, I don't know, but it's an interesting point that you have noted that the regimented system of shakhas which are there, it's quite unique, but it is it is regimented and disciplined, but it also has the flexibilities. So that I like about it. Okay, that it is not something which is like inflexible. It's flexible, but it also has a discipline nature. So discipline, following orders, and flexibility both are part of this. So interesting thing. Maybe I will check. I will check with few people that whether Bajrang Dal or VHP or any other Sangh affiliates use the same Shakha system or org structure to run their organizations. Okay. Just one more comment from Mr. Shastri ji. Also, we should look back and see if Shakha system was used in the past before the Sangh for political mobilization. I don't think Shakha system emerged out of a vacuum. Interesting comment. Okay, so let me let me tell you what I know about it. So actually, the Shakha system was created by Dr. G on the basis of actually military organization. So if people remember that Dr. G was a soldier in the British Army and he fought in the World War. So when he came out of the military service, he knew how a military regiment, its structure of organization actually worked. So the Saka system is a kind of akin, not mirror, but a kind to military structure in terms of organization, in terms of system, timeliness. All things are part of it. It imbibed from his military experience. But yes, it could be used by, but it was primarily influenced by that. Yeah, I think we will we'll talk to academic man on this. So we'll see what he says about this. Yeah, Vyamsha, we have a comment from Agnipath with Maheshji. Vyamshala is a wonderful concept and should be revived. If it actually exists, so Vyamshala exists because even if you go to the shakhas in a locality, there will be a time where people will play games. They will be do some small exercises. They will be that's part of the regime itself. But it was in a different form when it was Sangh was formed. Now it has changed its character. So now people go to gyms and do other things. So at that time there were no gyms, there were actually akhadas, but they were far a few. But right now, because of physical exercise as a primarily done by individuals, but Sangh does it in a different manner where they will play games, they will do some light exercises to actually build their physical fitness. But it is there in Sangh. But yes, we need, as a Hindu society, we need to actually work together, work and build such community shakhas within by ourselves, not depend on RSS, but they can help us to build that. But we can build our own community centers where we do physical exercise on our own internally within apartments or within streets. Okay. In fact, this concept can be upgraded to modern needs to attract youngsters. Yes, I this is very important and this needs to be done actually. Yeah, Shwa Adhyay. Yeah, because I don't know a lot of Hindi and Sanskrit, so sometimes I try to read as much as possible. But due to my limitation in learning Hindi and Sanskrit, so this happens. So I try to improve it as much as possible. Okay, let's see. Okay, Sridhar Namdu. Yes, sir. Yes, yeah. Please listen to it. I'll try to read more of this. Maybe next weekend, or maybe I'll try the people to actually read the book more. We try to read more books, but unfortunately, due to my time constraints and I was not doing well as well, my voice was really bad for 2 3 days, so I could not read. But we try to read as much books as possible. We try to read more books on RSS on important topics in our times. Let me see. Okay, this is interesting. Vaishali is asking where the akhadas, the precursors. Um, yes, they were like you already had the akhada system in Bharat, but the Vyamshalas which were there in RSS, they are actually primarily derived from the Anushilan Samiti structure, which the Dr. G saw in Bengal. So from there, he got the inspiration to create Vyamshalas in RSS, taking inspiration from Anushilan Samiti structure. Okay. Shastriji is saying, when I said non-Sangh Hindutva organization, I had Sif Sena. Okay, that's interesting. Sif Sena runs a lot of shakhas. Sena works. That's interesting because I have not lived in Mumbai. So this is a very interesting trivia that Shastri has brought in. Yes, so it means that okay, this structure is utilized by other non-Sangh affiliates, or who are not Sangh affiliates, but they do copy this. This is very interesting. Tab. I think people. Okay, uh, there are no online shakhas, but there are bodhic. So if you know RSS structure, there are actually bodhics. So there are weekly and monthly bodhics happen. Bodhics means we will discuss. So that monthly bodhics are generally happen over a Zoom call or Zoom call or some other. They will actually use Google Meet. So online bodhics do take place in RSS, which I know. So not sure about online shakhas because RSS primarily focus on face-to-face interpersonal communication and camaraderie. So that may not be very good because it believes in person-to-person communication, but they do conduct a lot of monthly bodhics and weekly bodhics over Google Meet as well. So that I can tell you. Boishali is saying something. Anushilan Samiti was gymnasium moonlighting as sur- surreptitious headquarters of the rebels. Absolutely correct. There is a kind of online Shaka system that has emerged organically. Not sure how it functions because shakas are primarily designed for face-to-face communication where people can talk to each other, they can play games, they can do exercise, physical exercise. So, but yeah, tomorrow maybe we can talk about this tomorrow in our stream as well. Okay, I don't think there are too many comments. So, thank you everyone for joining. We will continue this reading session maybe next week as well. We'll try to read one portion of it, or maybe in the weekend as well if we get the time. So, thank you everyone for joining. Jai Shri Ram, Vande Mataram. Okay, there is one question. Okay. One question: how does RSS protect its members facing political violence? Yeah, Anand Siddhar, thank you. They have their own legal cell. They have their own support groups which support because if you see when I was reading the book in emergency, there were 150 Pachadaks who were in jail. So when these people were in jail, there were other support groups or RSS people who were giving support legally to those people who were jailed, and they were supporting the family members of those people who were in jail. So they do have an internal support structure, legal as well as otherwise, where the family members, the family, the pracharaks, or the normal karyakarta is helped by each other. I hope that answers your question. There is a structure is there, internally structure. So as you can see in the book, in emergency, they have done that. They were supporting people legally. Their families were supported. Their family members were supported. Okay. So thank you, everybody. It's midnight. So Jai Shri Ram, Vande Mataram.